Hello and welcome. We are
the Sisters of the Holy Fiber. This is episode 9. I am Devin, also known as Rambunctious Guy, or Rambunctious Ski, on Ravelry. Whatever you want to call it, it's fine.
Yeah, the spelling's a little weird. And I'm Tiny Kiwi, also known as Heather. Grab your quilting needles and your scissors. I don't know, whatever you're working on, and join us while we craft and chat. So, first section is whips. What you got this week?
Never-ending sleeves.
Yeah.
I'm working on my sashiko cardigan, and I'm working on the sleeves, and I am almost to the part where I decrease for the arm caps, sleeve caps, excuse me, not the arm caps. Arm caps be weird.
But I like the thought.
No, sleeve caps. And, yeah, they fit around my arm, which is nice. And I can't wait until they are done. I am, at this point, slightly worried that I might run out of yarn. So that'll also be an adventure. Because I have this much, and one more ball. And I don't know if one more ball is going to be enough for the button band. So, it'll be an adventure.
Yeah, because I forgot that you made the sleeves longer than
yes,
they were.
Yes, and I did not take that into account when I was thinking about yardage. Oops. This has just been the project of kind of oopsies. And, you know, like, Knit Picks has more yarn. It's just whether or not I will finish it by the month's end. You know?
Get the yarn in time if you needed it.
Yes. So I want to finish the sleeves and then kind of do some math and see if I think I have enough for the button band.
Okay.
So it's just, I got to finish this. I want to finish the sleeves up first. So
Yeah.
Okay. What are you working on?
Just same old, same old. It's the never-ending fib-nerdy shawl. I haven't made hardly any progress at all, so I'm not even going to show it.
But I want to see it.
It's
Who
like,
cares what they think? I want to see it.
it's like two
I want to see
extra
your
lines.
stripies. Ooh, I look like a vampire. I'm holding the needles up to my teeth.
Oh, I see.
Okay, anyway. I want to see.
We're very squirrely today.
I want to see. Oh, that's so pretty.
Yeah, I kind of lost my mojo on this one. I'm trying to make I took it to Knit Night, and I've never been to Knit Night at this location before, and the lighting was awful.
Oh, no.
And I was like, and one of the bulbs was flickering, like seizure-inducing flickering, and I was like, how is anybody working on anything in here? And I was like, I had a headache too, so I was like, well, there goes all my plans for getting some knitting done at Knit Night. So I went home early. Because I was like, this is kind of a waste.
Sorry
I got
to
a
hear
row
that.
done, but it was a begrudging row. So, let's see. I think that's all I'm actively working on other than thinking about making more buttons.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that Knit Night wasn't so fun.
Well, no, I had a great time with all the ladies and everything. It just wasn't productive.
Oh, well, it was fun, but I'm glad it was still fun.
Yeah.
I have flickering lights in my classroom. When I got to my classroom, there were 8 light bulbs out. 8 light bulbs. That was half of the light bulbs in my classroom.
That's ridiculous.
Yes, it was ridiculous. And these 2 were kind of going, but they were over my desk. And I was like, it's not that important. I'll try and get a little bit more life out of them. Well, they are going downhill, and it affected some of my kids today. So I was like, okay, time to replace them.
Right.
But they made it through like 6 more months, so. You know us at schools trying to get every little last bit out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but the flickering can really start bothering you when you're trying to focus.
It was okay for, you know, because it didn't do it all the time, and it just started flickering again, so.
Oh, well,
it's time for it to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I am actually working on something else.
Oh, hot neat. What you got?
No, I kept it a secret from you.
Oh, yay.
Okay, so I've actually been carrying this. This is probably one of my longest works in progress, and it's not knitting. I started working on this when I was in New Zealand, and it has lived in this is my little toolkit of knitting things that travels around with me. It's got needles and scissors and
Jujabs.
all that kind of stuff. And it is a little cross-stitch bookmark. So this is what it's supposed to look like at the end.
Oh, how cute.
At the top and the bottom are diagonal zigzags in white, orange, and brown. And in the middle is a little kiwi.
For me.
For me. And then the other thing is that the colors kind of remind me of the 70s.
Yes.
Which I don't really mind. They still go nicely together. It does look a little bit more orange in the picture, but the yarn is actually, it's like a yellow and orange and brown. So here's what I have done so far. So I have the top section done and the kiwi started.
Mm-hmm.
And I am determined to finish this because I was in New Zealand in 2007, which was 7 years ago. I have had this in my knitting bag for 7 years. Like, how long is it going to take me to finish this? Not that long. I need to finish it.
Yeah.
And I need a bookmark because I moved and I don't know where any of my bookmarks are. So.
Oh, perfect excuse.
Perfect. Yeah. So
I'm going to be haranguing you to finish that then.
Yes, please do. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Sounds good. I haven't checked any of the classes this month. Do you know if there's any non-Rav classes available?
I think there's one that's taking sewing. I can't remember. I watched the Weasley Girls, and they talked about one of them as taking sewing, I think.
Yeah. I haven't looked yet. I need to figure out when the Headmistress's Challenge ends, too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got a lot of things I got to look at that I haven't. I've just been really lazy.
Well, you know, all of your fanfic.
It's true. Reading has been taking up most of my time lately.
Are you working on anything else?
No, actually. Everything I've worked on that's other things I've finished, so next segment.
What have you finished?
Okay, well, let me set my knitting down. Hold on.
How exciting.
I know, right? I finally finished things. So, this is going to look really boring on the camera, but this is just a pillowcase made out of, like, cotton flannel. So I finally got around to starting to make some more pillowcases, and this one was, like, kind of driving me a little nuts because I didn't have a straight edge to work with. Like, the selvage wasn't even straight, like, so I had to, you know, do the snip and rip kind of thing to give yourself a couple of straight edges, and that was kind of a pain because it didn't.
It's flannel.
Yeah, so it was really took way longer than something that's supposed to be 3 straight seams. I was like, this is a ridiculous amount of time to be spending cutting and sewing a freaking pillowcase. Unbelievable. I felt so stupid taking so long on it, but
you want to do it right.
That's true.
You know, and that's why it was taking you so long, because you were doing it right. Like, if you didn't care and you weren't doing it right, then you could have a wonky pillowcase with unstraight seams. You know, but you wanted to do it right.
Yeah, exactly. And I've done that before. Like, I think one of the very first things I ever sewed was I sewed an actual pillow, you know, like put the pillow form inside. Yeah, I don't know how many times I sewed that final seam. It was kind of a catastrophe of sewing thread. It was kind of funny. I mean, it got done, you know, and I used it for a long time, so it served its purpose. But, yeah, no, it's time for straight seams and sewing straight, and, you know. So, I'm still laughing. Anybody else would be like, ew, done, you know. Well, then they would also have probably a crooked seam and
a pillowcase that wouldn't actually fit onto a pillow. You know, like, it would bother me if my pillow went inside and my pillowcase was like this. Like, it would go, but it would also bother me every time I looked at my pillow. So I might as well fix it now.
Exactly.
And I'm going to rip it all out and fix it later.
Chris has, like, one of those ultra thick pillows, so, like, it doesn't quite fit in the pillowcases very well. So I was thinking about like sewing one that has like a box shape instead of, just the straight edges so that it's got the built-in,
Oh
sort of.
yeah, perfect.
So I thought about doing that. I think I might actually do that. Um, but I've got to go through my fabric. Like, all the fabric that I was thinking I could use is all light stuff. And I was like, yeah, that just ends up, getting stained from face oil and drool over time. So it's better to have a darker color pillowcase. As gross as that is. But it's true. So I might even dye this white pillowcase if I get, inspired. I probably won't. I'm really lazy. I just don't think I care enough to really go there. But it means I gotta dig out more of my fabric from in my closet in the garage to see if I've got some darker stuff I could use. Especially if I do sew the four-sided pillowcase for Chris's big pillow. But that's one thing I got done, and then I got another thing done. Well, actually, I got a couple other things done. So I played more along with the button maker. I don't remember if I showed you this flat button without the shank last week.
Nope.
Okay, so I went through. I have a bunch of fabric scraps from our grandmother, and a lot of them are like period fabrics that you can't really find anymore. Like 60s fabric or whatever. So, and a lot of them, I saw her in a dress, and those are the scraps, or scraps from the pillowcases she made. She did a lot of the sewing for her house. So it's always a fun sort of trip down memory lane to go through those scraps. And they're really not big enough to do much with. Like, you couldn't even make a pillowcase out of them. Like,
but you could make a button.
And I did. So that's what I started with. So this is some of my grandpa's shirt fabric. This is
I remember his shirt.
Yeah. So I tried one of the shankless backings for the button, because my plan is to use like vintage scraps like this and make rings to glue it onto like cheap plastic rings, because that way I get to see the fabric and enjoy it, and it makes use of those little scraps that aren't very useful for anything else. So I don't have any. I looked around. I don't have any of those rings like I was thinking I had. Like, I'm sure I've got a cheap plastic ring somewhere that I won from a carnival or something, but who knows where it's at. So I gotta find, go to the Dollar Tree and buy some kids' rings or something. See what I can make out of that. And glue that on. And then this took me like an entire day to embroider, which is kind of ridiculous, but I was very fuzzy-brained that day. So this is based on one of the patterns out of that Japanese book that I showed you last week.
Mm-hmm. So show us.
I know, but I'm trying to figure out how to get the light on it with. There's kind of how it is. So let me.
So cute.
The bottom part is the empty flower head of a dandelion, with one little seed still sticking out, and then a couple of seeds floating up.
It's so cute. I love it.
So I had a lot of fun, like choosing the stitches for the for each section, to give it different kinds of textures. But the one thing that I kind of forgot about is that this is just like scrap muslin that I had from sewing class. Is that the dark threads, when you travel behind, they show through. And I thought about that, but I was like, hey, it won't be that important. I don't care enough, right? But now I do care. So if I made it again, I would tidy up my threads behind a little bit more. And I'm a pretty tidy embroiderer, but even still, there's one or two places where I'm like, I can see the thread through. I even put 2 layers. I put a backing of another piece of muslin to make sure that the metal of the button wouldn't show through. But it came out okay. I just don't know what I'm going to do with it now.
I think it's really pretty. And I know that we hear this a lot, but I want to tell you, you could sell that on Etsy.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, it's the perfect size for shipping because it wouldn't take that much to ship. But
Right.
you could just make like 5 or 6 and then post them, and then when they're gone, But
That's true.
and I know, as a person who has dreams of selling things on Etsy and never done it. But
yeah, it's mostly the laziness factor.
I love you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. But, and then I have one more finished object. I've been, like, crazy with the finished objects this week.
It sounds like you have.
So,
Well, you tell us about it so I can measure my sleeves. Because hopefully they're done.
Yay! Fingers crossed for you. Ta-da! So, last week you asked for the stay in tune and stay in time, so I made your little bottle.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Yay!
I haven't put the, earring backings on, because I haven't glued them shut, and I don't have earring backings at the moment. I went in, and I really did use up the last of them, so,
Okay, I have to show you something. No,
What?
I shouldn't. I'm just going to tell you about it. Oh, you can see, right there. Oh, I think it's going to get cut out. My cat is sitting on my iPad. My iPad is close by, and she has decided to just sit on it. There's plenty of other room near her. She don't need to sit on the iPad, but anyway, sorry for the digression. Come back to you.
the joys of cat ownership.
Yes.
That's so funny.
She wants attention, and I'm not giving it to her, so.
Yeah, well, she knows.
iPad.
She knows that you're busy with things that aren't her, and she
Uh-huh.
just wants you to fix that.
Come here. Here she is. And tail mustache.
I know. So cute. World's longest tail.
Yeah.
I swear she's part lemur.
Probably. Okay, back to you. Really,
Any-
for realsies.
Enough randomness.
Come on, back to you.
Okay, so stay in time.
Yeah.
Here, let me show you. Boop.
Yay!
Well, you're going to be able to see. Hold on, let me... With the little tiny label on it.
Yes, it's so cute. Little tiny label.
Yeah. So I really thought about these like a lot more than I should have. Like,
But I think that's fun. Okay, so tell me what you thought about.
okay, so the stay in time part, I was thinking like metronomes, right?
Mm-hmm.
To help you stay in time. So then I was like, well, what would represent a metronome? And then I was like, well, beats. But then I was like, my brain was just kind of like going a million miles an hour. That's about as close as I can get to my actual thought process. So I was like, well, these little round dooblies that I've got, they're cute. They could be little metronome beats. And then I was like, I'm just going to suspend them in a bunch of crystals. So that's what I did. So it's metronome beats suspended in a crystal solution. Here you go.
Yay!
So there's your stay in time. I gotta still put the earring backing. If you want it as earrings.
Yes.
Okay. And then here's
Because then I will wear them and my kids will go, what are on your ears, Miss Nelson?
That's so funny.
They're earrings, children. Anyway, continue.
Well, I forgot, how old are your kids?
Kindergarten all the way to 6th grade.
Yeah.
So they're just full of questions, which, I try and answer as many of them as I can.
Why
At
would they
appropriate
ask
times.
about, yeah, right?
They ask about anything and everything that's different on you.
Yeah.
So if I suddenly didn't wear glasses one day, they'd go, Miss Nelson, why aren't you wearing glasses? If I came in with a nose ring, what's on your nose? They're just curious. Okay, continue. What did you do for stay in tune?
Little, here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this one.
I can see that it's brown.
Yeah, it looks kind of like little pieces of pepper. But there's it looks like sesame seeds. Like if I mixed toasted sesame seeds with untoasted, that's what it looks like. But you'll never guess what it actually is. So, unless you want to guess. Nope.
Coffee?
Nope.
What?
It's not a food product. I got really creative with this one. This is termite dust. AKA termite poop.
Yes.
So it's little tiny bits of digested wood in all different shades. But there's like a couple of them are dark. So it looks like little notes.
Oh, okay.
So most people will probably think it's pepper.
I will tell them that's what it is.
Yeah, probably better. I got way too creative with these.
That's awesome. Thanks, Pookie.
Yeah. So once I get some earring backings, I'll let you know.
Okay. Sounds good.
But I gotta get a trip to Michael's before that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I don't really have a great reason to go there, and I have every reason to stay away. Oh, who knows how long that's really gonna take me to finish. Okay, so I guess that's not a finished object. I need to put the earring backings. That's a
It's
win.
kind of like weaving in the ends.
Yeah.
Finished is not finished.
It's good enough.
It's in that nebulous place of
Right.
being almost.
Right.
I have a finished object
Which is...
this week. Also, I finished one of my other very, very long-term works in progress that is not knitting related. I made, I don't even know how many, a bunch of these origami stars.
Oh, yeah.
And they're actually two pieces. I don't know if I taped them together or not. No, yeah. They're actually two of the same thing.
Okay.
Da-da-da-da. And then it just happened to be like I made one and I was like, hey, I think I could make another one and stick it in here. And then I did good. So I made several of these, like 15-ish, with the intention of stringing them up and hanging them up. So I made them, and then they sat in a box for seriously at least 3 years. Probably more than that. I don't even know how long they've been in a box. So I was cleaning out things, and I was trying to, like, de-box all of my crafting supplies.
Right.
I'm like, ooh, look at all the boxes of crafting supplies. So I was like, what's in here? Oh, look, all these are... Why don't I sit down right now and string them up? So that's what I did. And I took a picture, because they're kind of high up, so I don't want to try and show you. Here we go. So here, they're just above my window.
Oh, that's very cute.
And so the backing star is always the pink, and then the front star is sometimes a colored paper that's got a pattern on it. And then it alternates. So it's a solid color star, and then a star with a pattern, and a solid color star and a star with a pattern. So I really like it. I really feel like it pulls the room together nicely.
Don't go all Martha Stewart on me now.
Oh, I thought that was from The Big Lebowski.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
It ties the room together. It is a rug, but it ties the room together.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't think I...
It's like the one movie reference I'll ever make. I forget movies all the time. Anyway, so that's my finished object. I'm really happy to get something so long-term done. And once I get this bookmark done, oh my gosh, I will feel like a queen.
That's so funny.
So, yeah. Any other finished objects this week?
No, I don't think so.
It caught you by surprise. But
I know, I'm like, wait, I don't even know my name anymore. It's been a long day. But no, I think that's it.
Okay, so on to the next segment. Brainy moments. Do you have any brainy moments this week?
Indeed, I do not.
Okay, neither do I. Moving right along. Shiny this week?
No.
Okay, I have something.
Got that.
I am a recent convert to the Weasley Sisters podcast, and they were having a contest, and I entered the contest, and then I won, and I've never won a contest before on a podcast thingy, so that was exciting. And I got what she sent me, and it's a works in progress bag.
Ooh. Show.
And a button. So
Ooh.
here's the button.
Super jealous. I want a button.
Weasley Sisters podcast, and it's the picture of the two of them.
Yay!
And the works in progress bag is just the right size for a pair of socks. You know, your balls can go in there, and then
I'm sorry.
Then on the inside, it does have pockets. I don't know if there's pockets in here, so you could easily slip some scissors and a needle or something in there, and so you have everything you need to finish, even, you know. Yeah. And it's drawstring, so no zippers, you know. Yeah. And she also put on it I attached the button to it. So let me take the button off here.
I'm just going to totally keep eating this brownie while I'm listening, sorry.
She also put this little ring on there so that you can attach it to your purse. So you put it in your purse, and then you can attach it, and it won't come out of your purse. It won't fall out.
Good idea.
So she thought of a lot of things, and I'm really excited to use it. And I'm still thinking about casting on socks. And when I got this, I turned to my partner, because I knew what the size is for, knitting socks, but I turned to my partner and I said, so what kind of project do you think would fit in here? And she said, socks. For me! Yeah.
Hope springs eternal.
So, and I do want to knit her another pair of socks, so hopefully I'll actually have time to count. Which is why, seriously, the only reason I haven't cast on, because I don't have time to count. Like, that's
Yeah.
it. That's why I'm not cast on socks yet.
You know, next time that you get sick or something, you should just cast on a ton of projects.
I
And then,
know, but then I don't like that. Because
Mm.
I feel like I have all this stuff,
Yeah.
that I need to finish. I am not somebody who has, like, a whole bunch. Like, some people, they have, like, 15 things of whips in their page. You don't have 15. It's like pages of whips, and then you get to their finished objects. I am not that person.
You know why I don't have 15 pages of whips? 2 reasons.
You don't put them all in?
I don't put them on Ravelry. Yeah. And the second one is that I have it set so that my finished objects are at the top.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't see my whips because they're all at the bottom.
Yes.
It's mostly just that they're not in Ravelry. If I put everything in Ravelry that I had, it would be kind of a sad day for me.
Okay. We are at 35 minutes, just to let you know. Oh, no. We had some other stuff before that. Okay, never mind. I was, like, freaking out that we had talked, like, way too much already. Never mind. Moving right along.
And we're not editing this out.
No, we're going to try and not edit things out this time, so that'll stay in there for all eternity.
I'm twice as much of a bumbling idiot.
No, you're not. What about hyperventilate?
I know I had something. Hold on.
Okay, that's good, because I don't have anything.
So along the lines of those little potions jars.
Uh-huh.
Well, this is going to go into random remnants sort of moment. But I was thinking instead of doing actual liquids, I could use, what do you call it? Not enamel, but, because enamel is glass. What is the word I'm looking for? I had it until I had to think of it. Anyway, never mind. We'll get off of that topic. We'll go back to the, Altoid Apothecary.
Maybe I am going to need to edit this. I'm just kidding. What are you talking about?
Okay, so let me get kind of on topic. So, those little potions jars, I was Googling to get ideas.
Yes.
And people have made little Altoids tins that are supposed to be like little portable potions things. Super cute. Anyway, so I was thinking about making one of those. But since I don't have a printer right now, that would probably be a lot harder because they had some cute little, like designs and stuff inside the lid of the tin. So I'd have to do that all by hand, and let's be real, I'm lazy. If you haven't noticed, there's a theme in my life. It's called I'm lazy. But it was really super cute stuff. So I've been thinking along those lines of what I could do.
And that's what you're excited about, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
so
I'm excited about it too. So
maybe I will go to Michael's and then spend money I shouldn't be spending. Oops. Don't tell Tracy. Tracy tries to keep me on track.
That's good. Good job, Tracy. You keep her on track.
She doesn't keep herself on track, though. It's like we gotta keep each other on track, but God help us if we get in the store by ourselves. That's what friends are for.
Yes. I don't have any hyperventilate this week, so let's move on to...
I'll link to what I was talking about so that you can see a picture and understand more of what I'm trying to bumble on about.
Oh, yes. And all of the important links and things will be in our show notes at sistersoftheholyfiber.wordpress.com. Our next segment is Books to Stick Your Nose In. I finished reading the short story book called The Illustrated Man by Ray Bradbury.
Oh, good.
And I really enjoyed it. And I like to write here and there. And science fiction is something that I like to write here and there. And I like to keep around books like that for inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And so that'll be something that's going to stay on my shelf. It's right here. And then I started rereading. This is a book that I read in high school. It was one of those required readings. It's called Snow Falling on Cedars, and it's by David Gutterson.
I remember that book. I know because I tried to get through it like 3 times because I really wanted to read it, and I just couldn't get into it.
And I just started reading this morning, and I've already taken a chunk out of it. I don't know if this is going to be one that I keep. We'll see. I don't actually really remember much about the book. Now that
Right.
I'm reading it, like, slowly, it's like this seems kind of familiar, but I don't remember what's going to happen or anything like that. It's the exact same thing that happens if I have seen a movie, but it was 5 years ago. Like,
Right.
it's brand new. Like, I don't know who killed him, you know?
Right?
I
I was
don't
just
remember.
talking about that, like, because I was reading a book, and then I was like, well, that wasn't really. I was talking with my friend. I was like, that wasn't really what I was wanting. It was too much drama. I really wanted like a comedy or something. I was like, I should have set it aside for when I, was in the mood for it.
Hmm.
But for some reason, I just pugnaciously plowed forward. And I was like, well, on the upside, at least in a year, I'll be able to read it again, and it'll be like brand new because I'll forget it all.
Yeah. I don't know if this is going to be something that's going to stay on my shelf, but it has been on my shelf since I was in high school, which was a while ago, and it will be nice to either get it off my shelf or finally decide if it's something that is worth keeping around. My
Yeah.
bookshelf space, I love books. A home without books is like a body without a soul. I forgot who said that, but somebody said that. Somebody smart said that. And I couldn't live without books, but the space on my bookshelves is precious because I move a lot and my books are heavy and my partner won't move them. I move them. So they're heavy.
I don't blame her.
Yeah, and I don't blame her either. Except I think she moved a lot of them this last move. But anyway, so that is what I have been reading. What have you been reading?
Mostly online stuff, but then I also picked up the third, or started reading again, the third Mercy Thompson book. I talked about that in another podcast, and I don't remember the name of it, and it's on my Nook, so I'll have to link.
Sorry, I talked over you.
That's okay. We do that.
Yes, we do, and that's when you hear that. It's because we're talking over each other.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm trying.
We get too excited.
Yes. I thought it was I can see the cover because I was there when you were reading it, so I want to be helpful, but I can't see the title.
That was the first one. Now I'm on the third one though. 'Cause
Yes.
that one was a physical book. I have like the physical books for 1 and 4, and then the Nook book for 2 and 3. And then I think the other ones, I think I have hard paperback. I don't know. I started thinking about it too much, and my brain shut off. Whoops. I don't know. It's one of those things. It's like
Sugar, stop.
it's not fine literature to begin with, so I'm not really too worried about remembering the name of it because it's not like that important. It's all brain fluff anyway.
Yeah.
Which is
But
fine.
it's still fun.
Exactly. So that's the only real book I've been reading.
Okay. I Spy, have you been out seeing anybody lately?
I've been walking, but I haven't seen anybody. I keep hearing mockingbirds as usual, which is good. But it seems like I haven't heard as many this week as I did last week. So I don't know why that is. If the weather changed, or maybe they've actually started nesting or something, but it's kind of sad. I kind of miss the car alarms at 3 in the morning. Yeah, it's like they must be younger, though, because they haven't really quite got it down in the same way that some of the older mockingbirds have. Like, some of the older mockingbirds, they're very pitch perfect, kind of, like, these guys just still sound like they're imitating it with bird calls. Like, this is a sparrow, but this is as close as I can get it to a car alarm. You keep trying, little buddy. But that's it. Nothing exciting.
Okay.
What about you? Anything fun?
I also don't have anything particularly exciting, but I do have some confirmation that the bird that I saw last week was in fact a junco, because 2 more of them appeared on my porch and hopped around for a little bit longer so that I could identify them, and I saw that their markings closely resembled one of the pictures in the book that I have, so they are juncos, so that was fun.
That is cool.
Positively identify them, and they looked so happy, just like hopping around in my little porch, and I don't know, it was just really cute. So,
Do you remember what they eat?
no,
Is it seeds?
I think so because they were hopping around on the ground.
Yeah, but they could be going for ground bugs, but I really don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. So,
But that's always nice to get a positive confirmation, when you can actually, especially when you get a second chance, you're like, yes. So let's go.
Yes. So that was fun. And I hope to see more of them. I haven't seen anybody else. I didn't really go out hiking or anything, so no real opportunities for anything other than that.
Yeah. Do you have space for a bird feeder?
Yes, we do. I just don't want to maintain it. And Terry is interested in it, and I'm kind of waiting until she gets more interested, and then I'll help. But until then...
Yeah, I understand, because keeping it clean underneath it can be an arduous task. But the positive side is that even if it's empty, it just sits there. It's not really a problem.
Yes, and I can barely get outside right now to water my plants.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe having a bird feeder would get me out more so I would water my plants more, but I don't know.
Yeah, that
might
be true.
Sneaky suspicion that wouldn't happen. What?
Sorry, especially if you had a chair, and you could sit out there and watching the birds.
Oh, I have 4 chairs. There's plenty of chairs out there.
Oh, I don't remember them, but yeah, I believe you.
Yeah. Okay. Our next segment. Maybe you should talk.
We're just having a really bumbly day. I think it's the threat of not being able to edit that really gets us going, yeah.
Well, I've just been teaching all week. You know what it is, because the last 2 weeks were 4-day weeks. I had a Friday off and I had a Monday off. And so this is my first week in a while where I've had to teach 5 days in a row, and now I'm just done. I'm tired.
That's so funny.
So,
I believe it, though.
Our next segment is Ear Party.
Yay.
And we talk about things that we are listening to. What have you been listening to lately?
I've obviously been listening to a whole lot if you have listened to our podcast recently, but I've pared it down to just 2 this week. I'm trying to be good and not link to 50 different bands. I stuck with 2.
Okay.
Imagine Dragons and their hit Radioactive. These are both, like top 40 or whatever. Pop. And then One Republic's Counting Stars. And it's not even so much that I like the songs themselves. There's just something about the beats in both of those. I like having them on in the background kind of low. I think I got through a whole book with one of them on repeat.
Oh, interesting.
And I don't know why I do this sometimes, because I know I've done this with other songs where I look at my iPod and it's like, you've listened to this song 157 times. And I'm like, I believe it. Just repeat it. I guess my brain wants some kind of, oral stimulation, but nothing that it has to really think about. So that's what I've been mostly listening to, repetitiously. So I figured that's why I would pick those 2 this week.
Okay.
What about you? What have you got?
I have been listening to another podcast, but this one is song-related. It's called NPR, All Songs Considered. And it's by mostly, I think his name is Bob Boylan. I think I'm saying his name right. I'm not entirely sure. But he's a big NPR music guy. Mm-hmm. He is if you've ever heard of the Tiny Desk concerts at NPR, his is the desk that they are having the Tiny Desk concert behind. And
I don't listen to any of that, so the reference is lost on me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole, indie song culture. Anyways.
Okay.
I don't care, but if you've heard of it, it's the same thing. And this particular podcast has a variety of things that's on it. One of the things that they do is they have, at the end of the year, they get some of the other NPR music people together, and they have a round table about their favorite songs from the year. And they play 20 seconds, 30 seconds of the songs that they're talking about. So it's a really good way for somebody like me who wasn't really paying attention to kind of find some new things.
Right.
And so I downloaded their 2013 podcast, and where they were going through the different ones. And I found an artist named Casey Musgrove. She has a album called Same Trailer, Different Park.
Musgroves. Mrs. Musgrove.
Oh, sorry. Tangent.
Yeah. Jane Austen, why do you rule my life?
Come back.
Sorry.
Come back. I liked the song that they played, and so I'm going to look into the album and see if I like the rest of it. There are some other songs that they played that I also liked that I'm gonna look more into. So it was just a really good, it's like I can't remember how long it is. I don't remember if it was an hour or 2 hours, but it was a good. I was cooking through while I was listening to most of it and knitting through part of it, and I'm not even done listening to it yet, but that's what I've been listening to and enjoying.
Cool. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I'm still geeking out about the musgroves.
Where have you been walking in your walks in the urban wilderness? How are you doing in our next segment?
I got 4 walks in this week, but I feel like it was more. Somehow I feel like I was more productive in the walks that I did take. And I don't know why that is. I think it's because I've been walking further. But, no, I've met my goal with 4. What about you? Did you manage to squeeze your extra session of yoga in? Oh, that's a sad face that you're making there. That's like the saddest face. Okay, but I'm related to you, so it feels like the saddest face to me. Oh, you're breaking my heart.
No, I didn't do anything. I think I walked to my vegetarian cooking class, which is like 2 blocks away, and that's all I did.
But that still counts. That's 1.
That's 1. I got 1, which is better than none.
Exactly.
As they say. So, it just did not happen.
I understand.
Next week is our week where we're doing conferences. So I get out at noon because I don't have conferences because I'm the music teacher. Right. And I will probably do a little bit extra work because I feel bad that all the other teachers have to stay there, but I will probably still leave at 1. Yeah. And I'll be able to get some more stuff in next week.
Yeah.
That's my plan.
Sounds like a good plan, though.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I started out this week all jazzed, and I thought I was going to be like, I'm going to finally make it to, like, 7 walks or 6 walks, and then I was like, oh my gosh, how did I only manage 4 again? But you know how it goes.
That's how it happens sometimes.
I think it's, like, pretty much my norm is just 4, which is good. That's better than nothing.
Yes. It's much better.
Yeah.
Getting your body up and out, and especially since our favorite hobby is sitting and doing stuff. Like we need to have another activity to get our bodies up and out.
I was just talking with another woman at Knit Night about this because she was saying now that she's taken up knitting, she's put on weight, and she's like, I gotta get moving again, because when she retired and started knitting, she just didn't exercise like she was used to. So we were talking about that and things about, and I was talking about how I was trying to get out and walk more, and then we were also talking about, we're totally in random remnants now. But,
are we?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Okay, cool.
We made it.
Random remnants. So
surprise! It's appropriately time for me to ramble on like I haven't been rambling this whole time.
Good job.
Yeah. I'm a really rambly person.
No, you made it. Come on, let's ramble.
All right. So we were also talking about back pain and things like that. And because I have pretty much persistent lower back pain. And she was saying, because she has back troubles and neck troubles too.
Uh-huh.
And so she was saying that one of the, I guess, like physical therapy classes that she did once or something was saying, trying to pay attention to when you're in pain so that you shift what you're doing, so you shift to the left, shift to the right, stand, sit, you just change, where your body is so that, you're kind of helping to stave off those things. So, and this was part of the knitting conversation. So she was saying she sets a timer now that she gets up every 2 hours to walk around to make sure that she doesn't
2 hours? That's way too long. Half an hour at max, and then you need to get up. She
started out that way, and it was at 20 minutes when she did it before. When she would notice she was in pain, it would be like a 20-minute interval. And then she was doing this with a physical therapist. So they were every minute, how do you feel now? How do you feel now? How do you feel now? On their initial testing. Because this is part of a really complicated conversation. I'm trying to dumb it down a little, make it less rambly. But now she's worked up to 2 hours.
But I think even if you could, knit for 2 hours without any pain, I think you should get up at every half an hour and walk around a little bit, or at least stretch.
This coming from a woman who couldn't even manage her extra thing of yogas.
I get up. I don't knit for that long without getting up.
Okay. Well, I know when
I do that.
When I'm in a crafting place, I don't want to stop, and I understand that. I mean, I know that, like, it's important to stretch your body and all of that. It's just realistically, I don't always do that.
Yeah, I'm not saying I always do, but I'm just saying it is definitely a good idea.
Oh, yeah. It's good to have the goal of doing that, obviously, but I'm not gonna, like, throw a fit if I don't manage.
One of the things that I remember from the Knit More Girls podcast that the mom, Gigi, talks about. Why are you making the pouty face?
I forgot I was supposed to be doing increases this time.
I love you.
I'm almost through the whole row.
Oh, do it on the next row. Nobody will know.
I will know.
No, you won't. I bet you wouldn't even be able to find it. So I'm going to talk and you can fume.
I'm going to tink while you talk.
On the Knit More Girls podcast, Gigi talks about how when she used to do housework, cleaning the house and stuff, she would set a timer. I can't remember if she said 10 minutes or 20 minutes, but she would do 20 minutes of housework, and then she would do 20 minutes of knitting, and then she would do 20 minutes of housework and 20 minutes of knitting, and she would just kind of go back and forth. And that way she got her housework done and her knitting done. And she said it was really productive, and then it's also good because she wasn't sitting and just doing the knitting. And I've done that a couple of times, and I get a lot of housework and I get a lot of knitting done. It is true. You get a lot of both done.
Right. I have trouble focusing, so that kind of strategy would not work for me. Because by the time that I'd be getting, like, truly focused on something, it would be time to switch to the other task, and I wouldn't get anything done.
I'm not saying it's for everyone.
Yeah.
Just sharing.
No, I think it's a good idea. I just wish I could do it. Power of ADD, my friends. So what about random remnants? You got anything else that's...
Well, it's been really windy here, and I'm not sure if that's going to show up on our audio, but it's like whoosh.
How funny.
So if you're hearing that in the background, that's the windy sounds, and I decided to not close the window because that's just part of my life right now, is the windiness. And I love the wind, and so I want to listen to it.
I really think I'm too much part cat. I want to hide under the bed with the cat. I'm not into strong natural phenomena like wind and lightning.
Hide
under the bed. Do not like.
The other thing that's kind of random is I made scones this week because we have too much flour. We had flour, and then my partner bought wheat flour, so now we have more flour than I know what to flour. And
I would deal with that in a heartbeat. You wouldn't have... I'll be like, we're having scones with scones, and I made lots of crusts, and I also made a cake. Okay, hope you like carbs this week.
Hope you like cake. So I decided to make some scones for breakfast, and we had some pecans and some chocolate, so they're chocolate pecan scones. And there's not a lot of either of them because my partner's not that into lots and lots of chocolate in her scones because she's crazy. And I like it though, but that's just kind of how it is. And I just Googled scone recipe, and I came up with one that I think it's from All Recipes, that has it for the wet ingredient. It has sour cream, and I'm like, what else am I gonna... I'm not gonna do... If I buy sour cream, the rest of it's gonna go sour and get bad. It's gonna go really sour. Yeah. So I just used what I had, which was soy vanilla creamer and milk. So I used half and half. I used half soy vanilla creamer and half milk, and they came out fine. So I was just kind of let's see what happens.
Yeah. I think it's, I can't remember which cookbook it is. Maybe it's Anyone Can Bake, or maybe it's the America's Test Kitchen. But they have a lot of good, in the cover, like a list of substitutions you could make. Like, oh, I need this. Well, use applesauce kind of thing. And that's a really helpful list. But I also really like, being able to look up that kind of stuff on the internet. Back when I could bake. I don't do that now. And then you send pictures of your scones, and I'm sad.
I'm sorry. Well, you just ate brownies in front of me, so we're even.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Uh, yeah, so that's, let's see, all of my random for this week.
Okay. And
Thanks.
I've tinked to my appropriate spot, so yay.
Okay. Well, if you would like to know more about anything that we've talked about, visit our show notes at sistersoftheholyfiber.wordpress.com. We're on Ravelry. Please come and say hi. Please come and say hi. Leave a
Oh,
comment in our Ravelry group or in on the YouTube page or on our blog and let us know that you're there.
I love people who listen. Even if you don't say hi, we still appreciate you.
Yes. So thanks for listening. And I hope you come back to our next episode. If
Yay!
you, I also posted some stuff in the Ear Party thread that I have not talked about on the podcast. So if you like listening to new things, come on over and share in the Ear Party thread. I'll keep doing that, putting random stuff in there. Please come and join me. I'm lonely in the Ear Party thread.
I guess
So
I should probably stop being lazy and actually go post in the Ear Party thread myself.
it's a party of one so far.
Oh,
So come and join me and make it I mean, it's a rambunctious party, let me tell you, but make it a little bit more exciting. So, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Outtakes.
Seems like angels would appear whenever you came near. The clouds would disappear.